Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Grab a cold one, crank up the volume, and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. Here we go.
It's no block, no rock.
Yeah.
You never pointed at him.
Yeah, I did.
You got a point. Oh,
Okay.
I missed it.
Oh.
Go big red. Indeed. No block, no rock coming at you from the Sinovation studio in Omaha, Nebraska. Once again, Heavy Brewing is our main sponsor. Heavy Brewing. What kind of beer are you drinking over there, Michael?
I believe it is called the Maibach. And
That's right.
it is a Sunday morning where we are celebrating a Nebrasketball win. And, you know, we got a special guest today. And I asked him, hey, do you want to drink a beer? And he was going to kind of dictate what I was going to do. And he said yes. So here I am. We're drinking some of the best beer in the state of Nebraska. And
Right.
I went there on Friday. Had a great experience per usual.
There you go.
If you guys have not been to Heavy Brewing in Gretna, Nebraska, you're missing out. Like, the food is fantastic. The environment is great. And yeah, this Maibach, really good. I drank some IPAs on Friday night.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I actually just did a double take when you said that.
I even drank IPAs because
Who are you?
my
Yeah.
favorite beer is coming soon. They have the Wits McGee coming back. But no, I had a couple IPAs. I had the uppers and downers, which is like espresso martinis on tap, where they put like a floater on it. I mean, it's all good stuff.
See, when it comes to beers, Mr. Nick Sehnert of 93.7 The Ticket, by the way. Nice to have you.
Thanks, fellas. Yeah, I was trying to get all of us to enjoy a beverage today, but I guess some of us don't want to partake.
Well, look, I got my coffee.
I also got that, but no, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had Heavy Brewing before?
I have not.
Okay.
So it's taking my you-know-what today, my Heavy Brewing virginity. So here we are.
Your heavy cherry.
So here we are.
Yes.
It is delicious, though. Great Sunday morning beer after Nebraska basketball, 18-0, fellas.
That is
Can
so
we
much
say
fun.
this?
Yeah.
Does it ever get old?
No, cheers.
Cheers
It really
to an
doesn't.
18-0.
It
Cheers
really
to
doesn't.
18-0.
Say
There's your
it.
coffee.
Say it.
Cheers.
Bask.
They'll find their way.
Bask in the freaking glory.
Yeah.
Of 18-0. My God.
And for our listeners who didn't notice, we do have Steins now. They're Oktoberfest Steins, but if you look at them, there's actually the Heavy Brewing monkey on the logo.
I
So
didn't even know
that is what we will be drinking out of moving forward here on our show. So when you see this, it is actually a Heavy Brewing monkey on an Oktoberfest Stein.
Sure.
So pretty cool.
I was impressed by the glasses when I got them. I thought we were
Right.
just going to drink out of the cans, which are large.
Yeah, those 32 ounce large and in charge cans.
Yeah, we're like, hey, do you want a beer? And he's looking at this giant thing. No.
I was expecting a Busch Light over here, or a size, a 12 ounce. We do have things to do on a Sunday, but
That is true.
Yeah,
all right.
the point I was going to make is when it comes to like beers and like beer taste, Mike is very much a baby.
Yes.
So, you know, he's got to have his Busch Light, just basic, right? When it comes October, he's doing the pumpkin. That's probably about as wild as he gets, his pumpkin beer.
Mm.
But when he's drinking IPAs from Heavy Brewing,
They're good.
I mean,
they're good.
that must say something because Mike is always like, oh, pine cone this, pine cone that.
No, they were good.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah.
no, I don't know. This maybe is bad on my part. I don't know ages of you guys. I don't know if you know mine.
I'm 30 fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
31.
30 fun.
30
I'm,
fun.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
30.
I'm 30 sad.
Okay.
30. he's 37.
I'm 30 fucked. I'm 30 depressed. 30 kill myself. 30.
See, so, and then how about you?
I'm 31.
31. Okay. So you guys have a couple of years on me. So when you said you're a baby with the beers,
Yeah.
I am as well, because I've been 21 or over 21 for about 3 years.
Okay. So you're about 24.
I am 24.
Okay. There you go.
So this is the beginning of
So this is like I'm learning a lot about my palate right now.
It is.
We're trying to dive into the wine game a little bit.
Oh,
I
don't do that.
realized I've realized just because you drink wine, you can drink wine and be okay.
Yeah, you can.
It's a slippery slope though, because there's a lot of different options out there, and they're very good. They're very good. I enjoy. I've found out I'm not a dry guy.
Okay.
But I'll stop talking now.
No, that's good.
I'm walking down a slippery slope of talking about my alcoholism.
Hear me out. You can get it locally, and it's not
Yes.
too expensive. It's Franzia Sunset Blush.
Okay.
Just buy a couple boxes of that.
Did I strike a positive chord with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a couple cardboard boxes will do it.
Exactly.
Once
I've
People
never
shit
drank
on-
it out. I've never drank it out of a cardboard box, and I think that'd be
pull the
like
bag
a
out.
new. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
You slap
Same
the bag?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a new low for me, as if I go to that.
You say that, but it can also be considered a high.
well, and the amount of,
I don't think it could.
You
be.
can go lower. Trust me.
and the amount of money you're saving, it's incredible. It's a bang for your
Sure.
buck.
It's
Sure.
It's
Once
a budget-friendly blackout.
Once wine touches my tongue, I immediately
I'll just go
get a
get
headache.
malt liquor from the gas station.
Yeah.
That works too.
So
Yeah.
Keystone Light.
Yeah, once I have wine, it touches the tip of my tongue, I immediately get a headache. So no wine.
Okay.
And now I'm out.
Yeah.
So
I've been down a big Guinness road the last
There
couple
it
of
is.
months.
that's good. It's a good beer.
I mean,
You have
seriously.
good taste in beer.
I have
For
been
24?
down a massive Guinness road. I had about 4 of them yesterday before the Nebraska Northwestern game.
Yeah, so you went to the game in Chicago.
I was there.
Just to wrap
Yes.
this segment up, shout out to Heavy Brewing.
Shout out to
If
Heavy Brewing.
you guys have not been, best brewery in all of Gretna. Make sure you guys check it out. In between Omaha and Lincoln, it's a perfect stop on your way into any Husker game. So
Freaking A.
carry us. You went to Evanston for the game yesterday.
Yeah, so my coworker Jake Sorensen, who does the morning show
We
with
love Jake.
Sip and them, Jake and I, and a mutual friend of ours, David is his name, just a friend. I wake up at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning to a missed call, and I thought, okay, why are they calling me or whatever? So I call him back, and it is, hey Nick. I almost said Swim because that's what my nickname is, but they it's because of Steve Sipple. But anyway, they were like, hey Nick, you want to go to Chicago on Saturday? And I thought, yeah, what the hell? Why not? So we got in the car on Friday afternoon, drove to Chicago, and got there about 9:15 after a brief stop at the Rhythm City Casino, I believe is that what it is, Rhythm City, out in the Quad Cities. Brief stop there, and got to Chicago. Went out, closed down the one bar in Chicago or in Evanston on, what would that have been, Friday night into Saturday morning. Got up, went to the game, watched Nebraska kick some butt, and got in the car, got back into Lincoln about 1:45 this morning. So here we are.
Here you are.
Here we are.
Welcome to Omaha.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
I think what the people want to know is, did you win at the casino?
Yeah, I was wondering,
did.
are your pockets
did.
heavier when you left?
I did. Well, so it's kind of funny, and this strikes a chord with Jake, or nerve with Jake, because he and I were fortunate enough to go to Vegas for the bowl game, and everything about the Vegas experience outside the game was awesome. And I introduced Jake to one of my favorite slot machines while we were in Vegas, and I was successful in Vegas. And he decided to talk about it on the air that morning while we were in Vegas, because we did the show. We did his show, which is 6 a.m. obviously here, at 4 a.m. Vegas time.
Oh,
well,
hell yeah.
Jake got about 2 hours of sleep. I got no sleep. I was down. This is really bad to say. I was down at the blackjack table at 3:40 in the morning, and I realized I
Sin
looked.
City, baby.
I'm serious. I looked at my watch, and I thought, oh no, I was like, oh shit, I got a show to do in 20 minutes. So I cashed out, went to the cashier, cashed out, sent Jake an update text of it. And he texted me at like 3:48 in the morning, Vegas time, was like, hey, are you awake? And I was like, well, surprise. So I went and grabbed 2 pieces of pizza. And one of my favorite pictures I've taken from my travels the last couple of weeks is I'm sitting in my hotel room with the stream ready to join the show at 4 a.m. And I have 4 pieces of pizza that I bought, and the timestamp is 3:58 a.m. and I'm wearing all the same clothes from the last night. So it was
Hell
fun.
yeah.
So, but anyway, so I was successful in Vegas, successful the other day, and we made a deal. We pulled into the casino, and I said, all right, guys, if we win over this amount, then the entire trip's covered. We'll take care. Whoever wins takes care of everything for everybody. I was able to take care of everything for everybody.
Wow. I need to hang out with you.
It was a good time. It was a really enjoyable experience. And yeah, here we are.
That's got to be such a great feeling when you get to that level. Like, I can pay for everything, but also you're like, fuck, I should have lost like $100
I
more.
shouldn't have said anything. Well, it was so funny because it was actually the same slot machine that the same type of game that I played in Vegas that I won yesterday or on Friday. And I was walking out and I found, I don't know if you guys are casino guys.
I am not a casino guy.
Okay.
I'm the last
Anti-casino.
I'm basically anti-casino.
That's okay. It's probably not a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm a sportsbook guy.
Okay.
I don't play tables or
Sure.
slots. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big like electronic roulette.
Okay.
Or if I'm feeling feisty and want to lose my money really quick, I go play blackjack.
Sure.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. I like to live vicariously through everybody else gambling around me, and I just like to watch.
That's not a bad thing. So I cashed out from the slot machine. I was walking out and I saw a $10, which is very, very rare, by the way, a $10 table of blackjack. And I thought, you know what? What the hell? We'll throw 100 in there and see what happens. Jake was not happy with me because he was ready to go because he did not have nearly the success that I had. And so he's walking out. He's like, Nick, let's go. Come on. Here we go. Well, I stayed there for maybe 15 minutes and got a double my money. So I was like, I was like, Jake, are you really going to be pissed off? Like the valet just got our car. Are you really going to be pissed that now we can
valet and everything, man?
It was not. I did not drive. That was the one rule that I had. As I said, if we're going to drive, I am not driving.
Yep.
So
I'll pay,
especially in Vegas.
No drive.
I sound kind of snobby, but I'm like, I do not.
Vegas.
If it's over, well, this was in Quad City, Quad Cities yesterday. But it was like, if we're going to drive 7.5 hours, I'm not driving. My cutoff is maybe Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm the same way. Road trips, driving long distances.
Yeah.
Kill me.
Hey,
I'll pay whatever the flight ticket
That's what I'm
costs.
saying.
Yes,
Hey, you know how you justify that is it's for the safety of everybody.
Yep.
I can't be driving the whole way because I might fall asleep.
Well,
you know?
and to be honest, I mean, here's the thing, guys. I was sitting there at Welsh Ryan Arena yesterday looking at one-way flights from Chicago to Omaha because I thought, I was like, I do not want to do the 7-hour and 48-minute drive from Welsh Ryan Arena to Lincoln is where we're at. So,
yeah.
But it's fine. Everything was great. Nebraska wins. And yeah, so now I'm a degenerate, I guess.
And that's fine. You won. You did okay.
Is it a
Nebraska
problem?
won.
Is it a problem if we win?
No.
I think
That's
you
the
have
real
to
question.
do that at every game now so that we continue to win.
No, okay. I'm perfectly content with where I'm at right now.
just don't get addicted. All right, come on,
He's got the.
just don't.
All right, Dad.
I can already see like the little, like you're itching to get out of here.
No,
You want to?
Easy now.
Because we're so close to Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in Lincoln, but I'm that much
Dude,
closer.
there's a war horse like literally 5 minutes away.
Don't tell him.
Don't
He
tell
knows.
him. Good. Actually, I've never been to the one in Omaha.
Okay.
You should check it out today.
No. See, that is where if I ever start, getting out of work and or say no to work opportunities because I am there, I need to not.
Yeah, that's
Well,
probably
hey,
a good idea.
Somebody needs to take me out of there.
It can be a job if you're winning.
No. See,
Yeah, it's not an addiction if you're winning.
Let me make this very clear. Like $10 is rich for my blood, but I was hey, this is a rarity that you have a $10 table. I just came from Vegas 2 weeks ago. Jake and I are walking through the Bellagio and there's $400 or $300 tables.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I'm like, for a minimum, like that is
that's a minimum.
absurd.
Yeah, they've got those like secret rooms. It's like a circle.
the high stakes.
Yeah, the high stakes
Oh,
room
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like scary. in
Casino
there.
Royale, James
That's what all
Bond
those
shit.
YouTube guys go on.
Yeah.
I'm out on all of that.
So
Yeah, no.
I just watch YouTube golf.
Yep.
I'm on a big YouTube golf kick.
There you go.
But anyway.
I love talking to my other friends that also gamble on sports.
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, I put 3-4 units on this game. And I was like, oh, 30
Units?
bucks. Yeah. A
I
unit is like
don't
your
even
standard.
understand the unit size.
Yeah.
Is that 1,000?
So a unit is like whatever your standard bet size is. So like for me, a unit's like $10.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So
like,
what was their units?
like 80. And like,
Ooh.
yeah, it's like I put like $320 in this game. And then you watch it and like actually one of them was the Bills Broncos game last night. I don't know if you guys watched that. A few of them had the Bills. And
That's tough.
I immediately, as soon as Denver picks that ball off allegedly,
That was wild, man.
yeah, but the text just went silent. I still haven't heard from them, so hope you guys are okay.
Hope you're still alive. Well, okay. So Nebraska ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I know, Mike. I know.
Nebraska ball.
I'll just say at the end of that game, first half didn't play their best ball, but they were still up by 9, right?
Yeah.
And then they start to pull away. And the thing I'm thinking to myself is, people are going to look at this game and be like, it's just Northwestern. Who cares? But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to say Welsh Ryan is a snake pit by any means, but come on. It's one of those places where, right? You got to bring your own energy.
Well, it's tough. You say that, but it was a lot of red there. The Husker
Right.
chants were loud.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those games. It's like a home game.
But could you just see?
Yeah.
you know,
It's a sleepy trap game.
It's a Saturday afternoon. You just, went to the casino, whatever. It's just like, okay, Nebraska's going to lose because like they've been playing above their heads for so long, and they're going to walk into this snake pit, tough place to play, boring place to play, and it's just going to be a letdown. Nebraska ball is going to be top fucking 5.
I feel like we're past though
Right?
we're waiting for the wheels to fall off.
No.
Right? Like I'm saying, even nationally, obviously regionally and locally, that's been gone for a while. But I think even the national folks, just even college basketball casualists are sitting there going, okay, you know what, we're done with the wheels to fall off. If Nebraska loses a game, and they have a really crucial stretch coming up with the Michigan, Illinois, Purdue stretch coming up is going to tell us a lot, I think. But even like hypothetically speaking, let's say they lose one of those games, then the narrative's not, oh no, the wheels are falling off. That we told you about Nebraska. No, it's just a common top 10 team taking a loss against a quality opponent. And I think that's where the mind shift or in the thought and the philosophy is where we're starting to see it play out. Is like, okay, if Nebraska loses, if they would have lost yesterday to Northwestern, then would it have been a bad loss? Yeah, but it was still a quad 2 win. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're sitting there going, if Nebraska loses, it's not the end of the world. Like, it doesn't feel like the end of the world because this is who they are.
Right. I mean, think back to like the seasons that we've watched over the last forever. And it's like they lose a game and you're like, God, like it just gets worse and worse. And now it's like you lose a game and you're like,
don't care.
The biggest change this year, and when you reference the previous seasons, like even going back to the Tim Miles years, if you guys remember, like it's just massive roller coasters of a season where it's like they would go on skids that, I mean, obviously you'd have double-digit skids in the early years of Fred Hoiberg, but I mean, it was like they would lose a close competitive game to a quality opponent, and then you would sit there and go, all right, well, they got a Northwestern-esque opponent coming up next. They should be okay. They should be able to get back on track, and then they lay a bigger egg, and then you're just like, you're sitting there with your problems facing this guy going, well, where do we go from here? What is the deal? You just don't have that this year, even if they do lose a game. Like, okay, so let's say, I think we all feel pretty confident against Washington next week on Wednesday, then it's like Minnesota at the barn. Minnesota's pushed a couple of really good teams these last couple of weeks, and that's not me justifying things. I think Nico Medved and Armand Gates, old friend alert, assistant coach on Minnesota staff, I think they're trending things in the right direction at Minnesota. Like, I look at Minnesota this year as what Nebraska basketball was last year.
Yeah.
And so I think 2026, 27 for Minnesota is when they're going to really do some damage. Maybe not to the tune of 18-0, but close.
Definitely not the tune of 18-0.
And you mentioned roller coasters with Nebraska, at least in the past. And I think the most notable thing for me this season is the lack of roller coaster. And I'm not referencing record. Obviously, that's what everyone wants to talk about. But one of my favorite stats to talk about with this Nebraska ball team is 10-point runs achieved versus 10-point runs conceded.
Yeah.
And they are number 2 in the country, only behind Michigan in that sense. And it just shows like this defense is stout. Sam Hoiberg continues to be a pest.
So good, though.
And the perimeter shooting from this team is unlike anything I've ever seen come out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, and the good part about that, too, is Nebraska ball, they find different ways to win games. So no matter what, you're going to have the defense. But like when you can go in and beat the brakes off Oregon and rank Mast scores or single-digit game, and then
you have Frager and Sandfort combined for 14 of 22 from the arc.
Like
beautiful.
And then you can go in and play a team like Michigan State and score less than 60 points and still come out with a win. Like this team has done it in different ways. And I think that's what makes them so dangerous is, if Nebraska has an off day shooting, their defense is still going to carry them in the game.
It really says something when I think we would all kind of agree that the best overall player on the squad is Rienk. I think we would all say
so.
At the very least, he's number 2 or whatever. But
I would say he's the most valuable player just because they run everything through him.
Yeah. That point forward position is
which is going to be interesting next year what they do with it.
And the fact that he didn't play that much yesterday.
Well, and that's I mean. So you mentioned stats that jump out to you. I tweeted this out, and Fred talked to us about it on what was the Oregon game Tuesday night. He talked about it. Oregon. Here, let me reference the tweet so I don't I don't say something wrong on this very respectable podcast.
Yes.
Oregon, 20 assists on 20. That was not sarcastic, by the way.
Yeah.
20 assists on 6 turnovers for Nebraska against Oregon on Tuesday. 18 assists on 5 turnovers yesterday.
Yes.
It's that type of thing. Like they're doing everything that just creates stability with the program and with the basketball team. And we love to look at Nebraska. We love to look at things big picture. Like, okay, where's this team rank? Whether it's football, volleyball, where's this team in comparison to the last 5 years of Nebraska sports, right? But if you zoom in and I love to be a big picture guy, but like I've taught myself this year to like zoom in on the micro stuff this year, because this is stuff that now can transcend and be carried over into future seasons, because they've shown the ability. I think Fred and his staff, and give credit to Nate Loenser and Pat Monahan and Luca Virgilio, GM, and things like that, Ernie Zeigler, like these guys. Oh, and my boy Peyton Borders. Peyton Borders is awesome. Recruiting coordinator, might not be here very much longer.
Don't say that.
He puts together all the scouts for teams. I mean, that's what he's special. But anyway, I just look at this and go, these are things that whether Rink's playing or not playing, or whether Sam's here next year, well, he won't be, but whether Sam's here or not a part of this team, these are the things and the micro details that you can carry over no matter who's suiting up for you. And that's what I think gives Husker fans a lot of excitement.
Well, again, we've been talking about it for, this whole Nebraska ball season. It's what Fred has done. We are hoping that Rule does for football is you finally figure out what works.
What's
here.
your identity?
It's my favorite word, identity. I feel like I overuse the term, but I just don't know any other word besides identity.
Yeah. It's like the culture word, where it's like everybody's
Culture,
favorite
culture.
buzzword. Like, you just got to create the culture.
Yeah. But like you said, man, it's going to carry over because Fred is finally showing why we were so excited about him in the first place. Yeah. Because he was a proven guy at Iowa State, and he did at Iowa State what works there. Fun and gun, and he did the transfer thing.
Yeah.
Then he comes here, and it's like, okay, Big Ten playing bigger opponents, and it's a little slower, I guess, and it's defense oriented. Love it. And so, question for you, because I know you're probably a little more plugged in. What is Nate Loenser's contract looking like? Because I don't want him to leave
Ever.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I would say. I mean, we got to remember that Fred plucked him from the G League. I mean, he was in a pretty good spot. I think more so than even just the contract conversation. You look at relationships and how well they know each other. When you talk about Nebraska basketball versus Nebraska football, I'd say that's the biggest difference. Like the identity and everything is a big part. Guys, whatever happens with Mike Eckler here, I did some math. It'd be I didn't know if we were going to talk about that.
Oh, we are. It's actually
it's a part of
next on the
okay,
to-do
perfect,
list.
good. Anyway, the crazy thing is that would be the 9th full-time staff member that Rule has had to replace in his couple of years here.
Crazy.
And you look at, you go back to, and that goes through now. Let me backpedal. Beep. Yeah, thank you. Beep. That includes guys like Bob Wager, who were not on the staff for their own reasons, right? But but still, I think the point still stands, because you identify who you want to bring in, and that's a big part of being an assistant or being a head coach of a program. With basketball and Nate Loenser, I'm sure there's a lot of places, a lot of programs that already knew Nate Loenser before he got here.
Yep.
I think that though with Nate, there's a connection to Fred. That when Fred Hoiberg, and you mentioned the Iowa State things, I think it's important to note. I'm a Bulls guy. Fred got handed a really crappy stack in Chicago.
Yeah,
really crappy in the comparison to the way that Chicago allows Billy Donovan to do things, or allowed Billy Donovan to do things when he got there, versus the way that they allowed Fred Hoiberg. That they've built that team completely different around him. But anyway, that's another conversation for another time. Nate Loenser, though, I wouldn't be too concerned. I saw Robin post something a couple of days ago where he was saying that Nebraska's made some strides to make sure that they can keep this going for the next couple of years. And Robin's a lot more plugged in than I am.
Yeah.
I love Robin. And I think should give Husker fans confidence more than anything, is that even if there is a little bit of unsteady waters because guys are getting jobs, let me use a Matt Rule quote. This is a good thing. When you're getting quarter further jobs, this is a good thing.
Yeah, unless it
Because
actually,
that means you're having success.
and that means
Unless it
you're
actually
having success.
materializes.
Yeah, unless it actually happens to your best coach on staff. Then it's kind of.
Are we
Head
going?
scratching.
Are we going to
Yeah.
Eckler or what?
I think we shift.
Have we talked enough about? Have
Hey.
we shown enough
Hey.
light on basketball
Hey.
because they fucking deserve it?
Cheers. Nebraska ball still undefeated.
Top 5.
I hope they're top 5.
Connor.
I feel like the AP voters will make them 6 just because they're assholes.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay though.
Whatever.
That's all right.
Can I just say real quick? And Mike, you're gonna love this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you are.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
I'm actually gonna love
No.
it. Okay.
You're gonna go. Oh. Assuming Nebraska moves up in the rankings,
They will.
their ranking will be higher than Creighton has ever been ranked, ever in their history.
Oh.
Just saying, they have more tournament wins, blah, blah, blah. We know. But Nebraska is going to be ranked higher than Creighton has ever been ranked. So fuck you.
It's crazy. The switch. I was talking to Happer the other day. He was saying that Creighton's won a basketball tournament game for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty. As much as I hate that,
ONH.
as much as I hate that, that is a pretty impressive stat. If you truly think about it.
Did you see the stat in the game yesterday that was so Nebraska was ranked
Oh yeah.
for 8 weeks in their history, and we've already been ranked for 9 games or 9 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
That's
No, it
insane.
was that Nebraska has played previous 30 seasons. Nebraska has played in 8 games as a ranked team.
There it is.
This season they've already played in 9 as a ranked team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this season. So
That puts pain in my heart.
yeah.
That stat
Isn't that
hurts.
crazy?
Yeah.
But again, it highlights, man. I just don't know if people are fully grasping what's happening.
Well, I will tell you they are though.
It's hard. It's hard because we're in the moment.
PBA is selling
Yeah.
out, and we've always had a great attendance
That's
record,
right.
even when we sucked. But like, it's hard to get. Lincoln is buzzing for basketball games. 4 hours for the game. People are turning up for the games.
I've said this the last couple of months, even going into basketball season when none of us expected Nebraska to be a top 10 team, a staple in college hoops right now, is that we have seen the largest increase in fan attention and fan buy-in in Husker men's basketball more than any other sport in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where now granted, it's coinciding with football being on a little bit of a down tick, but I guess not really because
They're on an uptick.
two consecutive bowl games. Husker volleyball is always going to be their thing. I got yelled at on my show earlier this week because I was talking about Nebraska basketball and they said I was disrespectful to the volleyball program. I think that's an unsaid, like it doesn't need to be said. That
Right.
Husker volleyball is spectacular. DBK carrying the torch, Jalen, those guys. That is not, I do not need to like preface every basketball conversation we have with, okay, I mean all this, but hey, let's not forget about volleyball. That's just unwritten, right?
I mean, they're the only team on campus that has carried the
Yes.
athletic department
Yes.
for
Stability.
100%, 100%. And none of this takes away, just because we talk about the basketball program in such a positive way right now, both men's and women's, to be fair, is that it does not take away anything from volleyball. But I'll preface that here on No Block, No Rock. But what I was just going to say is like, there has not been, people are making plans of like, okay, what are we doing Wednesday night for the Husker basketball game?
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing, is it feels as close to a football buy-in as we've ever seen.
I'm so mad about that too. It's like, so I go to Misfits before
I knew
every
you were gonna say
basketball
it.
game.
I
Right.
know Misfits.
So Misfits is
Well,
it used to
I
be
know it
my
plays
hidden
well.
gem. And so Lincoln always fills in, all the bars fill in, and Misfits is the last one.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I can't get a table at my secret hidden bar.
It's not secret and hidden anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nick's doing pretty well there.
Here's the
I'll tell
deal. Here's the deal. I'm a little frustrated with them because, well, not really, because we called them at 5 p.m. because that's where the group that I sometimes go to the games with, if they want me to go with them, they have season tickets out in section 115.
Rich people. Gotcha.
That's not no.
Jeff
But anyway,
Bezos?
Yeah.
No,
You
no.
think of
Anyway,
wow.
yeah, that's.
I sit in 313.
I'm still trying to
every
get.
game.
I'm still trying to get him to donate some NIL, but
yeah.
but no. Anyway, they called Misfits ahead of the Michigan State game.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Hey, what time do you guys open?" And they were like, 5 p.m. We're like, "Okay, cool. We'll get there at 5." I got there at 4:50. Things were already opened up.
Yeah.
I
Nick
thought,
doesn't
are you
really
serious right now.
when
I
Nick
got a
first
table, so we're
opened.
okay.
When Nick first opened Misfits, they didn't even know, like, they didn't have the basketball schedule. They didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
He owned like Doughboys or something.
Yeah.
for a long time. It was like over on O Street.
DP Dough.
DP Dough. That's it. Yeah.
Great
Okay,
spot.
He
I
owned,
was in college. Yeah, that's great.
yeah. So he owned DP Dough, and then like he got to the bar game and he bought Misfits when it used to be JJ Hooligans.
Yep.
And he did not know what he was getting himself into.
Mhm.
Like his first year, I was talking to him, and I was like one of 3 people every game.
Yeah.
That was in there, and I was like, dude, you need to like prepare your staff and everything for basketball
100%.
games. They're during the week, and from where that started like 4 years ago till now, like that place is taking off, and it's really more of like a restaurant type of vibe. So.
I'll be honest, and I know we're gonna move on here. I appreciate, as I get to, I'm fortunate enough to be able to go to a lot of road games and things like that. I appreciate what Lincoln has built in the rail yard area. Like you start to appreciate it. Like yesterday we bought a parking pass. And so we parked, literally right across the street from Welsh Ryan. It was ridiculous. They have like 2 doors you can go into. It's hilarious.
I love it.
The new Ryan Field's going to be sick though. They're building it right next door. But anyway, it's so funny because like you park or whatever, and then it was, all right, where do we want to go? And the closest bar was like, there was one like American cuisine place, and then there was an Irish pub. We chose the Irish pub because I said the Guinness part.
Guinness.
I wanted the Guinness. And so it was like a 5-minute Uber ride for us to go to this Celtic Knot, it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great spot. A lot of Husker fans were there. But I thought, man, this is how fortunate are we that we just get to walk across the street. And CHI has the same thing, but like, we see what Kansas City did with the Royals and Chiefs and completely flopped on potentially building stuff out there. And now, other Big Ten schools just don't take advantage of opportunities.
Nope, not at all. Especially
I mean,
the city of Chicago.
that's how Purdue was when we went there
Dude,
last
Purdue
year.
is ass.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Ass.
I can't imagine a worse college city.
Yeah.
I will be serious. The people were very nice. They were super welcoming.
Thanked us for coming.
It was
They did
weird.
thank us for coming.
Like we got told like you should go to this bar. This is where all the college kids go. And
I'm
my
like,
first
I'm
thought was
too
like,
old.
yeah. Well, I was like, I don't want to like have somebody like we play Purdue tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't want to create any issues. We walked in, they loved us.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? They're like, nobody comes here. Like everyone hates
Are you guys at the age though where you walk into a bar and go, man, I'm just the oldest person here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys there?
That's
Yeah.
I was at that
I've
like
been there.
25.
dude? Yeah, you hit like 27 and you're like,
Well, because that happened in Chicago. So Friday night we got there. We went to Al's Beef. They told me I told them that I was hopping on here with you guys today, and they said, Nick, you got to mention Al's Beef. We went to Al's Beef in Wrigleyville yesterday or on Friday.
So what, do I send the invoice to Al's Beef?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Let's make sure I send that.
And so anyway, we went to Al's Beef. Then we went to a different, like a bar out there in Chicago, and it was great. It was popping. But the worst part was that the 2 guys I was with they're 10 plus years older than I am.
Yeah.
And so I fit in real well. And I was doing the punching bag. Like I was fitting in real well with a lot of folks and talking about Chicago and stuff. They were not. And so it was
a tough scene.
they like walked down. They're like, we were definitely the oldest people there. And I thought, I'm thankful I don't have to be there yet.
See,
You'll
that's
get
kind of
there.
my opinion on the rail yard. Is
Yeah.
I walked in there pregame one day, and like you walk in, and I'm looking around, and I see
He's
a
not
bunch
21.
I see a bunch of dudes with like jean jackets, fanny packs, and they're all hitting jewels, and I'm like,
Are the jewels still a thing?
No, but
Okay.
a guy,
I was gonna say I've not seen one in
a guy
long
with
time.
a hoop cross earring like bumped into me, and I'm like, I don't belong here.
Yeah. So I will say I feel like I'm an old soul. Like I'm a very big speakeasy guy. Like
Okay. You give me
underground stuff.
McMaster vibes, so it's fine. And we
Okay.
we
Yeah,
love
yeah.
we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Matt.
He's a young fellow
I
with
guess.
an
He is.
old
He
soul,
is.
and he's a
Yeah.
Chicago guy. but-
Yeah, I don't like the bar scene a ton unless like I'm traveling. Like I have to be in the right mood for it.
I feel
I was
it.
in the right
So-
mood on Friday.
When we were at Purdue, Mike paid like $16 for like a 12-ounce.
Dude, I was so
Kool-Aid.
motherfucking mad.
Yeah.
So we went to Brothers.
Okay,
And Brothers, they're known for their-
never been, but yes.
So they
yeah,
like
don't.
the Brothers are at like most of the Big Ten bars, like Big
Okay.
Ten cities,
Gotcha.
and they're notorious for having like mini pitchers of Long Island iced teas,
Okay.
and they're cheap as shit.
Okay.
I
Not
go
there.
there wearing Husker stuff, and they charge me like $20 for this
Yeah.
thing, and normally they're like $8
Normally.
or $7. I tell the Purdue students that we were with, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got fucked. This is $6."
When was the last time? Now here's the big question. So you guys have been to Lincoln, obviously.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to a bar on O Street?
the year I
can you
graduated.
even
Actually,
tell?
I
This
think
year.
the night before I graduated.
Did you really go this year?
Yeah, this year because we went to
Which
one of the Husker games. Cody Johnson was in town.
Okay.
So we tailgated all day, went to the game,
Sure.
and then we got a jank ass hotel that smelled like curry. But it was walking distance from the O Street bars.
Wait, so which
I'm not sure you can say that.
yeah.
It smelled like curry.
Which O Street bar did you go to?
All that stuff has changed, man.
No, it has not.
Yes,
no,
it
it has
has.
not.
The Brass Rail is an institution.
Never been.
Smart.
I never want to go.
Where's the place that had
on
the
Thursdays?
cages where the girls
Is
would
that
dance in
Iggy's?
cages?
Yeah, that's changed. Not like that anymore.
Iggy's doesn't have cages.
Junction.
Who had the
Junction doesn't have
cages?
cages.
Maybe Sandy's. I don't know.
Somebody
I
had
don't remember any
cages.
place with cages.
There was cages.
Yeah, you hop up on the. Yeah.
you
I know.
hop up and you were in a cage.
I've seen a lot of pictures.
So
like a birdie.
you mentioned you went to the university, yeah?
I did.
Okay,
Yes. Graduated in 23.
You turn 21, you go to the rail yard. You walk in, you know everybody there. You know a lot of people there at least.
Yes.
Give it because you're probably still kind of there.
Yeah.
Give it 2 years. You're gonna hate the rail yard.
Well, and that's where I'll be honest. Like, I don't get to tailgate a ton just because I'll go to the game and we'll usually show up. Football games where they're 2 hours ahead of time
For media.
like things like that. Yeah, for media. So I don't get to tailgate often. So it's a weird scene. Like, it's a weird feeling being able to tailgate and being able to go out to bars.
Yeah, you
for
don't
me.
really know how to act in those situations.
Yeah, but and what I'm sure you guys get this because you guys, once again, respectable podcast. I hope you guys trademark that. Anyway,
no block, no
we
rock.
will not.
Respectable podcast.
Respectable podcast.
My mom says we're respectable.
But no, like you wear your brand, like you wear your company stuff, and you got to be careful. Like, it's a slippery slope.
And
so
and we wear this, and people they want to drink with us.
well, and that's the other thing is you get to you're very fortunate to do what we do, and you just got there's things you don't get to partake in as much.
So
by the way, we do have new merch.
Yeah, we do have new merch.
NBNR.
Whoa.
Herd@brandgoods.com.
How
You can
about-
get all of our stuff.
Yes.
The perfect segue.
Yeah,
Perfect
look at
segue.
that.
Look at us, radio guys.
Yeah, kind of. We're
No FCC here.
there is
No,
no
FCC.
FCC here. Thank God. We would have been canceled 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
5 years when it started.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. You're done.
I'm pretty sure the hotel comment a couple minutes ago.
It smells like curry.
No,
That's all I gotta
that's
say.
no worse than the hotel I stayed at in Moore, Oklahoma for the Nebraska-Oklahoma game in 2021. So
Yeah.
we found there was some paraphernalia in the Kleenex boxes. So
Yeah.
Oh, we love that.
It
was
happens.
great.
It goes well.
It was a Super 8.
Well, there it is.
Okay.
Hey, no. So you guys did your whole bar thing, and I'm just sitting here going, why don't you guys just be adults and drink alone at home?
Yeah. That's my rule. I don't drink alone.
I know.
And that's why you're 30 depressed.
Yeah, 30, you won't-
30 sad.
sad. There it is.
Okay.
Mike Eckler.
That's
Mike
funny.
Eckler is
We're-
sad or happy or
Yeah, we're at 11:48. So like,
Oh wow, yeah.
let's hit that.
Yeah.
This is going quick.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Are we? Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
so our head coach,
I gotta stop.
he's been making the rounds. He's going on different shows.
He loves podcasts, big podcaster.
Loves
He is a podcaster.
One of them was contractually obligated. Sports Nightly, by all means, do that.
You should.
Okay, you should.
KC coming on the pod soon. FYI.
Yeah. Okay.
Kyle
Kyle
Crooks.
Crooks.
Yeah.
Head coach making the rounds. And one of the topics that comes up is Mike Eckler's eventual departure. He's gone, right?
He's
Hashtag he gone.
He's gone.
Matt Rule says some things about the situation. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. How special teams, you should do it for the unit, for the team, and not for the glory of special teams or something like that. Okay. But this loss of Mike Eckler, some people are just like, kind of like almost like F him, that he's leaving. And it's just like, not a big deal. Special teams fell off at the end of the year, which admittedly, I feel like it did get a little worse. There were some injuries that happened, but some people are just kind of ho-humming this. And I'm thinking that they're nuts for ho-humming this. What do you think?
I'm just concerned. First of all, those people are wrong. Anybody who says this is not a big deal is so wrong. Mike Eckler is the best coach on the staff. Like
By far.
Yeah, like Matt Rule included. It's Mike Eckler.
By far.
It's not close. So anybody acting like this is not a big deal is stupid. What concerns me is something that came out maybe a week ago. And obviously it's a separate situation, but it was regarding Dylan Raiola's departure, where it was said that there was no real effort to retain Dylan. You know, the university was ready to move in its own direction. And that scares me because, like, I understand, you know, if we knew he was done, like, why fight it? But with Eckler, this is kind of a situation where I'm questioning, like, did we really put in our best effort to retain a guy that, frankly, again, people talk about, like, oh, it's just special teams, you know, ho-hum, whatever.
Yeah.
That
Won
we
us 3
have
games
to,
this year.
it should have been an incredibly public thing how much effort Nebraska was doing to retain a guy like this.
I think it was the opposite. Matt Rule publicly went on a podcast and was already preparing for him to move on.
I mean,
No,
he
I
said
know.
on Sports
Yeah, he
Nightly
said
if and when.
If
he
and
leaves.
when, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he keeps using this foxhole reference, which I think is very odd and ironic. But he's like, well, if you're in the foxhole, but you're partially in and partially out, that's his problem. It's not my problem.
How about pull the motherfucker back in the foxhole? Like, don't let him be halfway out.
Mike Eckler is gone. Now, there's questions about, okay, does Mike Eckler want to coach a position group on defense? He's always coached linebackers and special teams. And at Nebraska, Matt Rule just wanted him to coach special teams. It's just very odd. And Mike Eckler is a guy that doesn't like to stay places for very long periods of time.
Can I say something about that? Real
Please
quick?
do, yeah.
Please do.
That's garbage.
That's
Stop.
garbage.
I know that as somebody that has a connection to Mike Eckler, that is garbage. That thought process that he's jumping ship because of
Linebackers coaches and
just
stuff?
well, no,
Or no?
it's this narrative that he just doesn't stay in a place for a long time. It's because if you look at every single job he's had, it's been because he's moved up.
Yeah.
And
I don't disagree with
at
that.
Tennessee, he was for 4 years. And he had a lot of success. And it took a lot for Nebraska to take him away from Tennessee.
Can I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to push back. Like,
No,
super
you're
hard,
fine. You're
But I
fine.
will. It's something I texted these guys is that Eckler has had 10 jobs in the last 17 years.
That is right. Yeah.
Has he moved up 10 times?
Well, I would
mean, there
say
were
this.
definitely some lateral moves in there.
So there were some lateral moves. Like you look back at, he was part of the staff at Lane Kiffin at USC.
Yeah.
Saw that
And I've heard so let me give you guys a backstory and everybody watching. Because I don't think Eck would mind me saying this. There was back in March. It was the week after the Michigan game, and I tweeted this out, and I got kind of ridiculed for it. Because I didn't say anything initially, because a lot of our job is reputation, right? And you know, keeping things I don't want to say quiet or keeping things from the public, but more so like that's just
It's not your story to tell.
It's not our story to tell,
Yeah.
and we're not going to do this and stuff. And Eck's incredible. So it was after the Michigan game, and you remember that Nebraska's special teams that week did not do great against Michigan.
Missed field goal.
They had a missed field goal. They allowed the big return. Or was it a blocked punt, guys? You might have remember. Was it a blocked punt or Nebraska? No. It was Jacori fielded it inside the 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Jacori fielded it inside the 5, and that was the situation there. The next week was a bye week, and I ended up actually, I was flying on vacation. I just took a weekend off. It's a weekend trip down to Texas, and Eckler was actually on the flight.
Oh, nice.
And anyway, so what happened essentially was it was the most bizarre of things. And this is the way the world just works sometimes. I booked my flight through a credit card, and so there I didn't want to pay for seats. And so I just had it randomly select me a seat. Well, you get screwed and you get in the middle seat, and I'm not the smallest, width guy. And so I was like, screw this. I hate this middle seat or whatever. Well, I saw Eckler was waiting in the terminal, but at a different gate. And I was like, okay, he must be recruiting, right? He ends up getting on the flight. He ends up sitting next to me. And I introduced myself because I had never met him before. I had never met him. Like I had seen him at press conferences and stuff, and we'd asked him questions, but I'm not a newspaper guy. So like a writer. So I don't need to have this like real close connection to these guys. However, I introduced myself, and I put my AirPods in and was going to be ready, like chill. Like I don't need to bother him or whatever.
You don't be that guy.
The last thing you want is,
media guy.
hey man, Mike,
so you guys just lost to Michigan. Like, tell me what happened and stuff. But Eck was very, very forthcoming with just a lot of thoughts and stuff. And he asked me about like my time at Nebraska, and knew that I was kind of newer to the business. I'm 5 years into it now and stuff. And I ended up asking him like, all right, so like what happened against Michigan? Like, let's talk about special teams. What's your number one priority coming to Nebraska? Why come to Nebraska? And here's what he said about Nebraska. He goes, I could have stayed at Tennessee. And he said, I had other opportunities elsewhere as well. Which I cannot translate, but he said that I will say this, there were some very notable legendary coaches that were trying to get Mike Eckler services the last couple of years from Tennessee, and he stayed at Tennessee. And when he said that Josh Heupel said, whatever you want, man, to be here. And he said, no, look, I got to go to Nebraska. Like, I already told him I'm coming. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And he said that when I asked him, I go, why did you want to take Nebraska's job? Like, they were bad on special teams last year. And he said, Nick, I wanted to show that I could come to the place that they were the worst team in the country on special teams and transform it in 1 year to being the best. And he goes, we're not there yet. He said, we got a lot of work to do. And he said, but this is why I'm here. And he's like, we're going to build this into a long-standing special teams department. And so then I asked him, like, what's the number one stat that you look for to see if your special teams is good? And he said, net punting. He said, if we're top 5 in the country in net punting, that's where we want to be. And so through all of that, I say all this to say, guys, one of the most badass things I've ever had with a coach is I asked him about the Michigan stuff. And he said that he watched the previous 3 years of film on Michigan before that game. And not once did they run the coverage that they ran against Ja'Cory Barney on that punt. And he said, that's why he's like, but also, why would I take the ball out of the hands of one of our best skill guys?
Right.
He said, why would I tell him not to catch the ball and run with it? And he said, that just doesn't make sense. And then he goes, Nick, next week we play Michigan State. And he goes, if they end up running a rugby style punt to the right, he goes, I guarantee you we fucking block that thing. And so with that, he was at that time, he was like, all right, be chill. Like, don't say that. Don't don't go talk about
Keep
that.
that to yourself.
And he's like, but I guarantee you we blocked that thing. And what happened next week?
Lo and behold,
They ran a rugby style punt and they blocked it, returned it for a
And they
touchdown.
talked about it too. That
And
like,
I ended up texting Eck that night. And I said, Eck, I said, you called it on the flight last week. I said, that's badass.
yeah,
And he said, we're just trying to work hard here.
we're just
Wow.
trying to
That's
work hard here.
And so I don't want, that's why, like, because of that. And I know maybe, I don't know if you'll clip that. I don't know. But like at the end of the day, that's why I don't buy into this notion of like, he's just job hopping. This was one of the first places, you mentioned it. This is one of the first places that he has not coached a position.
Yeah.
I think that there were simply, I think it's okay to say this. I think he looked at some of the position groups this year and looked at the output or lack of output.
Yeah.
And goes, I've put 20 plus guys in the league at the positions that Nebraska was struggling at this year. And that goes back to what we just talked about at the start of the show, identifying, figure out who are your best guys, whether that's coaches, players, support staff, whatever. You got to identify the right people for the jobs. And I think Nebraska misidentified.
Well, that's the tough part with that is, okay, so and I'm all for this, but like, does Matt Rule fire Rob Dvorak? Does Matt Rule not hire Manning? Like,
yeah,
what I'm assuming it was the Manning thing, the outside linebackers type thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things.
There was an opening, and I assume he probably wanted to throw his cap in on that, and then it didn't work out.
I think that. Well, I will say this. I would have belief that there was no miscommunication in the fact that Eckler believed he should have been coaching a position group, and Rule was aware of that.
Okay, yeah,
and we're talking after week 3 of the year.
So Adam Halperin, our pal.
I love
him.
Adam. Adam's the GOAT.
Adam comes in with $20, says when Rule got on
Whoa.
Eckler for getting too excited during the sidelines or on the sidelines was very telling of which coach is worth keeping, and it's the assistant that brings fire.
Can I say something about that also?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to only be the one talking.
No,
because I want to hear your guys'
we
thoughts.
invited you on our show.
I understand that. I understand that. But I did not read too much. I urge Husker fans not to read too much into the whole, like, I don't want to hug him on the sidelines. Like, because Eck is wild, man. Like, Eck is crazy, right? And in the moment, like, we've all been like blindsided. Like, yeah, you get pretty pissed. Like, you know, so I would not be, I would not read in too much to that piece. However, I think that you can read into the piece about more so of how many coaches on the staff outwardly and maybe inwardly without us knowing, we know challenge Rule. That's what I would say. That part is more alarming to me. Because I sit there and I think to myself, you have to know that you're not the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And egos run wild in you guys know this in college sports and college athletics, especially when you're talking about contracts and things like that. Egos run wild. And it's how can you contain your ego for the betterment of the program? And I think there's multiple guys on the staff. I think there's this is not like just a Matt Rule thing, because I think this is a multiple guys and multiple people issue.
So something that comes to mind. Have you seen the movie Casino?
I have not.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There's a scene. Robert De Niro is basically running this casino, right?
Mhm.
And he gets a blueberry muffin. Okay. And he looks at someone else's blueberry muffin, who their muffin has a lot more blueberries in it than his. So he goes back to the kitchen and he says, I want this amount of blueberries in each muffin.
In every muffin.
And the chef's like, do you have any idea how much time that's going to take? I don't care. Put the same amount of blueberries in each muffin. And so I'm thinking about this.
That's crazy.
And yeah, Matt Rule, I think we viewed it at the beginning of the tenure as like a positive thing. Like he knows what he wants. He's the CEO. He's going to overlook all this.
Mhm.
I think as more time passes, and I'm speaking for myself, not NBNR as a whole, I think you're right. I think he needs to start delegating responsibilities. Like he needs to let Rob Orich run the defense instead of, hey, John Butler, I know you've never done this before, but here's the defense you're running, and I'm going to fire you later. It's just he's got to let his coaches do their thing, right?
This is why I think Nebraska struggled. The identity part, yes. As a head coach at Nebraska, you never get told no. You do not get told no. And I don't want to play the game of like comparing Nebraska football versus Nebraska basketball. And hey, these things are no, they're not. They're apples and oranges. But the same philosophy can be said. I think that a quick note on basketball: folks are willing to donate more because there's more trust in that Fred and his staff will spend it in the right ways. I think football has lost a lot of that trust.
Lost a lot of grace. Yeah,
they've lost a lot of it because not because they're. Yeah, great. They went to back-to-back bowl games. That's great. And this isn't, I don't think that this is Nebraska fans saying, okay, well, you did that. Now you need to win more. Yeah, results matter, but I think also the process matters. And there was a lot of, I think there's something to be said about Matt Rule came out in the last couple of games of the season, and it got very awkward. I will happily say that. It got very awkward and uncomfortable, I think, with the fan base and just around it, right, in the last couple of games. But with that being said, you have your head coach talk about how you got, I never know if out physicaled is a word, but we all know what it means.
Yeah, sure.
But how Nebraska got out physicaled in the last couple of games of the year. But then what do you do at the end of the year? You extend your strength and conditioning staff and you give them raises to where they'll eventually make $1 million to be a top 5 strength staff. Well, for what?
But you're not allowed to question strength and condition because we don't know the ins and outs, right? We're ignorant.
100%.
You can't question that.
And so that's where I think that there's a lot of just the process piece of it. Yeah, the results show, and I think Nebraska fans are smart enough to know that the results might take time, and there's been patience, and then there's been Nebraska fans, and there are 12 weeks of the regular season. What are you doing the remaining 40 of the year? And I think that's the part that more fans have lost belief and trust in than even the 12 weeks of when you're playing games.
What concerns me is for years now, 3 and change, we've referred to Matt Rule as the CEO type of coach.
Yep.
When we talk about CEOs, they, to me, have 2 main roles. One of them being identify and elevate talent. That's a big role.
Sure.
The other is, Jared, you mentioned it, delegate. I don't want my CEO to be hands-on, but we hear over the course of these last 2 seasons that he is still maybe kind of backhand controlling that defense. We have questions about whether he's messing with the offense.
Maybe.
Why are you hiring these people if you don't believe in their talent? And why are you not just delegating after you've identified and elevated?
But I feel like he kind of walks both sides of that. So he said, I trust my life with Holgerson, right? And then, by bowl practice and everything, he puts his hat on backwards and, I've had the mess that I had to clean up from the previous staff. Finally threw former head coach Scott Bleep under the bus, right?
He's done that. He did that this past week as well.
Yes, did it again.
Yep.
So he has kept that
that has
hard.
been such a switch.
Yes, it's been in his back
two
pocket.
things. So two things. One that I'll say about with Mike is that where it started to shift for me, and I have to look at. I try my best. I grew up in Nebraska, grew up a Nebraska fan, and I've started to honestly, guys, shift over these last 5 years of like away from fan and let's look at this realistically.
Yeah,
and a lot of it's because of the conversations that we're privy to and things like that, which we're fortunate for. And so you have to be diplomatic and you have to be realistic. Where I think it shifted a lot for me as just an observer of the program is when he brought in Phil Snow and Dana. Now, you needed to bring in somebody on that offense. First off, I think it was telling Marcus Satterfield was never supposed to be the offense coordinator. Like, let's just remember that. I think that's something that people forget. Is that Nebraska got denied on a couple of times on potential offense coordinators, so they moved Satterfield into that role. And then Dana Holgorsen. But let's not forget, Nebraska's defense was doing just fine, but they decided to bring in Phil Snow anyway. And that started the exodus of Tony White, and that started the uncomfortability, I'd say, of the entire thing. So that's step one. I interrupted you, so go ahead and keep going. But that was kind of the point where I think things really started to shift.
To your point, that is the basis of this entire podcast for almost 5 years now, which is you need to stop looking at it as a fan and you need to start looking at it realistically.
Yeah,
look at the facts.
Look at the facts. We're going to present the facts. Stop. And this is my resolution for 2026. I'm not going to tell a fan how to fan, because that's my thing. Don't tell me how to fan. Don't tell me how I'm supposed to feel about the way this program is behaving, the way that we're handling or mishandling coaches on this staff, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, don't tell me how I'm supposed to feel. I'm not going to tell them how they're supposed to feel. Now, we talk about Matt Rule, and he's kept that former head coach Scott card in his back pocket for so long.
Been saving it.
And at the bowl practices, Matt Rule turns into Matt, puts his hat on backwards like a fucking doofus.
Coach Matt.
And then says that he hasn't had the time because he had to fix the mess that when he came in here,
which is a complete switch from what
it was before. These are my guys.
Don't forget, that's what actually got a lot of Husker fans on board from the get-go. Was because you just got done hearing from a guy in Scott. What are we doing? Bleep.
Yeah, don't say that on the pod.
You can say it's if you refer to him as a player, we can say the player.
It was so funny. I don't want to deviate. It's Scott Frost story. But anyway.
Scott Frost,
you were watching
as a quarterback,
as a coach, sorry, or as a former coach.
Yeah.
So is that a bleep?
Yeah. Former head coach Scott is a bleep.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
You were looking at what was happening in Boulder, and Matt Rule comes in and says, "Nope, these are all my guys."
Well, yeah, and that's the point, because you just got done with a former head coach, Scott. Thank you. That comes in and talks about how the cupboards were bare and how it's going to take time and things like that, and they needed wholesale changes. Well, then Matt Rule steps in and goes, no, these are my guys. Like, we're in Nebraska.
Yep.
And everybody was like, wow, how refreshing is this?
Yep.
This is complete 180. Like,
Turn
here
the
we go.
page.
It's like we have an adult running the show. And then lo and behold, when once again it starts to get uncomfortable.
Yep.
What do you all of a sudden hear? Well, hey, you gotta understand, because
we took on a mess.
Isn't it wild?
And now I have the time to coach a position group, and I can really focus on the defensive line. And I can watch this defensive line get absolutely boat raced and throttled.
You know how
by
you handle
Utah.
that? You bring in a good coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think people make too much of the hat thing. Did he look dumb? Kinda. Yeah.
No, I don't.
I didn't
don't.
care.
He looked like a fucking
I didn't
dumbass.
care.
No,
But so
I think it was ridiculous.
And you also know exactly what you're doing when you come out like that. That's the part that bothers me the most is you can't sit up and act, and not that Matt did this. You cannot sit there and act naive about, oh, well, he just wore his hat backwards. Like, it's no big, no, you know exactly what you were doing when you walk out of the tunnel. And then to see your team lose by 22. And guys, I was at that game, and it was
shit pushed in.
It was bad. It was bad. And that is, I don't think very few people expected Nebraska to win. And I was one of those people that did not expect Nebraska to win.
Mm-hmm.
But you got outcoached, and your staff got outcoached by an interim head coach at that time.
Yeah.
And that's not the first time this has happened. And
this year.
And,
This year.
Yeah. So I just think you know exactly what you were doing. And then the whole decision to stay in Vegas for a couple extra days. There's a lot there. I will say this. I know for a fact that they thought that they had they knew before it was public that they had Kenny Minchie. at least committed.
Hmm.
And so I think, I don't know, maybe this is all me just speculating and
Kicked his
spitballing.
feet back a little bit.
This is
Got
it's
comfortable.
just me spitballing. Like, okay, yeah, we got our quarterback. This is okay. Like we're good.
I would like to think he was
And then what happened?
right. But I would like to think I know he's not. He's lost the benefit of the doubt largely. But if I'm going to be generous to him, the whole Vegas thing, staying an extra couple of days, I would like to think he was talking to or visiting with Tanner Viba Buell, the Army Air Force offered quarterback. It's almost as if we should have offered Jeff Monken the head coaching job. But I hope he's just not in Vegas, like just chilling. I hope he's visiting that
I think
quarterback.
you're giving him too much benefit of the doubt.
Maybe.
Well, where did Calandria transfer from?
UNLV, but he didn't know.
He was not on the
He was not in the
because
conversation.
He was not in the conversation at all. He's even told you that.
it was a
Sports
last.
Nightly.
It was a last second kind of thing.
He
after
didn't even
Minchie.
want. He
Again.
told you on Sports Nightly. He wasn't even on his list of guys,
Right.
and somebody had to talk him into. Remember, this sounds familiar, right?
Oh God.
Somebody had to talk him into bringing in
Mike
Calandria.
Hello, Mike Eckler.
Yes, and then somebody Will Compton had to talk him into interviewing the best coach that ends up being on the staff in Nebraska under the Matt Rule regime.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it to come across as if the fans have an effect on him.
Right.
He
doesn't
needs-
read or listen to podcasts, even though he blocked our podcast. Weird.
He
Weird.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he blocked
We got
us.
blocked. But he doesn't read or listen to anything.
That's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've never tweeted at the guy or
Okay.
anything.
But
It is what it is.
It's
I don't care.
like it's,
Wild, right?
I'm not
It's-
going to say it's a badge of honor, but it's like it's just very telling. Like
That's
Really?
incredible.
we post positive shit all the time. It's not. I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
funny.
It's
I
just.
don't know.
It's very. I think it's pathetic. But go on, Connor. Sorry.
The most telltale sign that fans do impact Rule and actually, I think, live rent free in his head
yes.
is that after 3 full seasons at the University of Nebraska, you start talking about our former head coach, Scott.
Yeah.
3 full seasons,
Hey, that's what
and
it took.
now you want to assign blame?
Yeah.
You know why? Because
He kept it in his back
sees-
pocket.
He sees the writing on the wall. Those
Wait,
walls
okay,
are
so-
getting closer.
So can I put just a really interesting hypothetical into your guys' minds? And I don't know how much time we have left. Like, do you guys have time limits on this thing, or do you just kind of go?
So we
try to-
theoretically,
I try to go like an hour-ish, but we're having fun.
I gotta-
no.
I got to get out of here like 12:30, so we got about 17 minutes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is going to be a hypothetical. I am not the originator of this idea or this thought. But you mentioned the piece about Dylan Raiola not being here and stuff. I don't know where you guys stand on Dylan Raiola and on the opinion of him.
I'm
I-
always
Indifferent.
Indifferent, for sure.
I will say this. I think that if it was truly Dylan's choice, he would have stuck around. Number one.
I think so too.
I don't think Dylan makes his own decisions, though.
I don't think so either. And
Yeah.
I think we have to look at this honestly and put ourselves in his shoes in that your dad is a former NFL guy. And I am a firm believer in that you can talk all the junk you want about how people only want the money and things like that. Let's not get it twisted. Priorities are still winning and to get to the league for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Maybe for a guy like TJ Finley, like understands the ceiling is college, right? But like that's the extreme. Dylan's dream is to get to the league.
Yes.
And I think that he looks at it and goes, okay, yeah, I got somebody in my family that understands what that takes, understands what it's going to take. And how can we can't knock Dylan for saying, okay, yeah, you know what, Dad, maybe you have the smarts on this one. Now, this is something that I kind of was put into my mind. Matt Rule understood the first couple of years to have all the job security in the world, you needed Dylan Raiola.
Yep.
You get your extension and it's time to cut ties. Why do you see where I'm coming from?
I mean, we've speculated on the show, as I'm sure many media personalities have, which is that I don't think that Dylan Raiola is what Matt Rule wanted, but had to.
Yeah.
You have to.
You had to do
100%.
it. He landed in your lap. He came in at the last minute of the last day that you could possibly do it, and you couldn't say no. Why would you say no to a 5-star quarterback?
Would you guys say this is where, who knows? Maybe I'll get my credential ripped from this after this. Here's what I would say. Yeah, just what you guys need. Just what you guys need. Maybe I'll just join full time.
That's
There you
fine.
go. We
Anyway,
got 5 seats.
no, it's fine. Here's what I would ask: the 3 best things from Matt Rule's tenure. Can we agree? Mike Eckler is
Yes,
one.
I was just going to say
It
that.
is number
Emmett
one,
Johnson.
Emmett and Dylan.
I think Dylan is,
Like the ability to land Dylan after that relationship was severed by the previous staff.
most definitely.
I would say overall, Matt Rule is a phenomenal recruiter. Like he is
Not really.
very see, you say that as
Not
like,
really.
no, not really at all, actually.
It'll be
Matt
interesting
Rule
to see
can convince-
2027.
Matt
It'll be-
Rule
it'll
can
be-
convince people of what he wants them to believe.
It'll
Okay,
be
so good,
interesting on
Mike Riley.
27.
But until you get guys to sign on the dotted line, you're nothing.
Did Dylan Raiola sign on the dotted line?
Dylan came
Yes.
on late and didn't
That-
bring anybody with him. So when you sign a 5-star quarterback, it's not
You
just getting the 5-star quarterback, it's getting everything that comes with it. And the timing of Dylan coming to Nebraska probably set Nebraska back, in my opinion.
Sure.
I at least set back Matt Rule's plans maybe for the offense that he wanted to run. But Connor, go. I know
I'm
you're
going.
itching.
Keep going.
I'm confused about what you're saying because
Okay.
you agreed.
You
Hold
think
on, no,
that?
no, no.
Okay, so you think that Dylan Raiola calling Matt Rule at the last minute and telling him that he wants to come to Nebraska was Matt Rule recruiting Dylan Raiola
Mike,
when he committed to Danny Kalen?
you said that Nebraska and Dylan Raiola was a thing that had to happen.
It did.
Am I correct that you said that?
I'm saying in a way that Matt Rule couldn't say no. That Dylan came back to him after the mishandling of his recruitment,
Margaritas and all that.
all
Okay,
the
but-
mess.
Do you believe that Nebraska and Dylan Raiola had to happen?
Yes,
And you also believe that it was a drawback.
I don't believe
In
it's a
the
drawback.
end, in the end,
No,
but-
Dylan brought us to new heights that we haven't been to in a
but no,
long
but
time.
you were saying with him coming on late was a drawback, and that if we had taken somebody else, we would probably have moved further.
We
ahead.
did take somebody. We took both quarterbacks.
Okay, so hindsight's 2020, but I'm going to make the point that I was making.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So those two especially, were they because of Matt Rule or were they because of other situations?
I think other situations.
Okay, so there you go. And so that's where I think people are starting to look back at this and go, I'm not trying to take away everything from Matt from Rule right now. Like that's not what I'm trying to do.
Mhm.
There's just I think people have started to step away and go, okay, let's look at this thing from top to bottom. And let's look at tendencies of previous stops and let's look at the personnel around him. And everybody wants to make such a big deal with money. I thought it was the most disrespectful thing when he came on. I don't know what the radio was. I think it was Sports Nightly, one of the nights. Or no, maybe it was a press conference. I can't remember. He comes on and goes, I'm trying to do what Fred Hoiberg's doing.
Mhm.
It is not the same thing.
No.
It is disrespectful to Fred for doing that. Now, granted, was Fred warranted 2 7-win seasons at the start? Yeah, he was, and you stuck around with him and things like that. Sure. But guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. If there's one thing I've learned about Coach Rule, and I respect the hell out of him for it, is that man is the most strategic man I've ever met. And nothing he does is without purpose, which is
Right.
can be a positive
Nothing
thing,
he says is without
but
purpose
it can also be a negative thing. And when to go full circle here with the Mike Eckler stuff, I talked about it earlier this week. The whole Zach Gelb show thing felt a lot like Damage Control.
It was.
Because this place, when it's slowly been matriculating, it's slowly been developing that Mike Eckler is going to no longer be here, so fans can kind of adjust and start to either justify that things are going to be okay or they're going to freak out for a couple of days and then it's going to be okay. And then lo and behold, your head coach goes on a podcast and is talking about how, hey, we want people that want to be here. I did this to him in the middle of the season. We tried everything we can to try to soften the blow.
Foxhole.
Right. And then here's the other part of it. The comment, we want people that want to be here.
Yep, the Nebraska thing.
Let me tell you this right now. There is zero doubt in my mind that Mike Eckler doesn't want to be here. There's a lot more that is zero doubt in my mind that Mike Eckler wants to be here.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
Yeah. Because take away the Nebraska side of things, take away everything. I just look at this and then he goes in and says, hey, look, I want to be here.
Mhm.
Great. But what are you putting around you? And it takes more than just you. and it takes more than just 2 coordinators. It takes more than just 3 coordinators. And so I look at all this as it was a lot of damage control. And now it's like we're all expecting Mike Eckler to leave.
Yeah, he's gone.
So when it becomes official, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, okay, we expected this. This is what we planned for.
Josh Martin.
And so sure, right? But like what would have happened if Mike Eckler wasn't hired last year?
Right.
We would have won 3 games.
Is Ed Foley still the special teams coordinator? Let me ask you this. Can any of us with 100% certainty, because my answer is no. Do you guys know what Ed Foley does right now?
No.
He's high school relations.
So we know what that entails, like what that is.
Yeah.
But he's on staff. His son's on staff. Holgerson's son is an assistant GM. Like, there's a lot of people with a lot of titles, and this goes back to the point about something I can't remember, but it was basically just like there's a lot of titles and not a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
I've talked about it a lot in the past, which is just like be careful making promises to people.
Sure.
We talked about
100%.
John Butler.
We talked about John Butler,
Yep.
like he helped us out when we needed him late for the secondary, and then you assume he wants to be a defensive coordinator, so then Tony White leaves, you're kind of expecting that. So hey, you helped us out. I promised you could be a defensive coordinator. You come in, don't do what I like, I fire you. There's a lot of people's sons on the roster or on the staff. It's just like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of promises being made, and whether you think that it should be or like it will work or not, you've already promised.
Yeah.
And if you don't, now you're pissing people off. Now they're leaving. Now you're trying to put out fires here and there. But I've got a couple super chats to get through here.
All right.
Adam Halperin with another 20. Appreciate you.
Damn, Adam.
Ciao.
He says, guys, it's difficult for me to believe a word rule says. I feel like he just says whatever people want to hear. His actions rarely match his words, which I think goes back to the whole fullback, tight end, huddle, stuff like that. Right when he first got here, that was,
the fullback.
It was glaring right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
How many times do we have the is Matt Rule serious or a snake oil salesman conversation? We all thought at the very beginning, like, no, this guy's genuine.
Do we all agree that Nebraska is going to chuck the ball around the yard next year?
Hell no.
I hope not.
Oh, is that right?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I hope they
I
don't.
think
chuck
so.
it.
I mean, I'd assume a guy like Calandra, you're going to probably do a lot more quarterback run game.
Oh, yeah, quarterback run, not traditional run. It's not going to be what we saw from Emmett.
No,
Here's
not
the
at all.
Here's what I've been saying about
That's my
Calandra.
point. That's
Yeah.
my point.
You bring him in for a reason. It's so he can run and so he can be explosive and go out there and make plays. And Holgerson's not going to be like, well, we can't turn the ball over here. But no. You let Calandria cook. That's why you brought him in. Unleash Hole go.
It's going to be a big boom or bust season. Like it's going to be. He might have games where he throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns, but then he might have games where he throws for 4 interceptions. And Nebraska just needs to be ready for that.
But with that schedule, it was going to happen anyway. So
Right.
KB, who else is on the?
We've got Schilt Eric with $5. He says South Carolina said take Satterfield for free. Basically, we don't want him. That should have been the very first warning sign.
Hey, some people are saying that about Teasley for what it's worth.
As well, same fan base.
Yeah. And then the next one, Adam Halperin again for $5.
Damn, Adam.
He says, I just don't want to have to watch Raiola beat Nebraska. I won't be able to handle that.
Well, he will play in the game next year, but that's because we're going to be down by 40.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I'm excited for that Austin
He's
trip,
going to
though.
get maybe 2 or 3 games worth of reps. Like he's not going to get much there.
Yeah, Lanny's going to be like, hey, go out there and
that was
fuck him up.
That'll be one of his 4 games.
my other big confusion was like, if Dylan is being guided by his dad, and was like, hey, we're going to get you to a place where you can go to the NFL. Horrible guidance to go to Oregon where you have Dante Moore still very much in the fold.
I disagree. This is the best move. This is the best
move for him.
He needs it for a year.
He needs to sit. He needs to shut up and stop doing the whatever. No attention. You go in the dark. You grind in the dark. You lose some weight. You get better.
And you get healthy.
Improve your pocket presence.
You straight up just do exactly what Dante Moore did.
Yeah, but
Sit down and shut up.
Dante Moore has more raw talent than Dylan Raiola.
Probably.
Yeah,
sure.
Like so to say like just do what Dante Moore did is very easy.
But it's philosophically do the same as Dante.
Yeah.
He's not getting to the NFL from Nebraska.
Nope.
Nebraska doesn't put quarterbacks in the league. We need to stop fooling ourselves. We're never going to put a pocket passer in the league ever. We've never done it.
People sometimes forget that Nebraska has a quarterbacks coach.
Yeah. Has Dylan Raiola, and this is not me, like I'm not sitting here trying to dog him. Has Dylan Raiola as of this moment shown you anything that says he could be a successful NFL quarterback? I would say no.
No, I think that's why he left.
That's why he left.
Yeah. So what, he's going to develop as a junior? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things.
You're
that you
late
could
on
look
that
at.
window.
I don't.
Sure,
I disagree.
sure. But Dante, well, so here's what I would say. Dante Moore must not feel like he's late on the window.
Dante Moore didn't want to play for the Jets. That was the whole reason.
hold on. So can
any
we,
team that drafts you is
I
gonna
hate
suck.
that. I hate that. I see where you're coming from. And maybe that's true. If that's the advice he was given, I think that's the stupidest thing. What, you make the quarterback class at the beginning of the year was so much better than what it was going to be at the end of the year.
Yep.
Like you expected Arch to be in there. You expected Cade Klubnik to be involved. Like you expected all these guys. They're just gone with the wind right now for this year's draft. This was your chance to go top 2 overall, and you passed it up.
To go back to Oregon and get
a
drafted?
straight up signing bonus is $9 million for the number 2 overall pick. I mean, like the second quarterback off the board last year got $9 million signing bonus. Like if you test really well and go above Fernando Mendoza, which I don't think was possible, but still, like my mindset also is from a competitor standpoint. Who the hell are you to sit there and go, oh, you know what? Like,
I'm too good for the Jets.
Well, no, I don't want to go to the Jets because they're such a bad organization. No, like I think if you're one of those organizations up top, you want a dude that's like, here, you guys have been sucking recently. I can come change that.
Historically, there's been a lot of TVs that do that, though.
Sure. Like, but like Zach Wilson in New York was just not a good fit. You take
No.
a BYU kid and put him in the center of the biggest market in the world.
Eli Manning.
Like, yeah. So I just look at this and go, at the end of the day, maybe the Jets dodged a bullet in a way because you need a dude that can come in there and be like, we're going to turn this thing around.
Right.
You have to have the confidence.
Any NFL team that's drafting in the top 5 is probably not going to be very good anyway.
Good point.
So whether it's the Jets or the Giants,
Organizational issues in New York. But
Jackson Dart is doing the
Also-
opposite. He's like, I'm your dude.
Sure. But
Yeah.
also, like next year, we talk about, he would easily be a top 2 quarterback this year. Who do you have against next year? Sam Levitt? Like,
well,
No,
I mean,
you have
I'm
all
saying,
of
I'm
them.
saying
You have the
Arch
you
puts,
got
goes
Club-
back in the fold. I think Fernando
so overrated.
Sure, but you're
took me
still
out
gonna
first
you're still
time,
gonna be in the conversation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think that, well, and don't forget, Texas brings in Cam Coleman from Auburn. I mean, like they continue to spend money. I think though, you look at next year as we wrap up, like at the end of the day, you had basically as good of a surefire top 5 pick in the draft, and you passed that up. Now, maybe part of that's confidence in saying that, hey, you know what, I can do this again next year. Maybe there's areas that he feels like he can get better in, and if that's the case, then sure, go take care of business. But I would also sit there and say that next year, who's next year's Fernando Mendoza that pops up out of nowhere and is
Indiana's
able to jump on that?
Just look at Indiana's roster next year.
Okay, sure,
I believe his name is Hoover
Yeah.
from TCU. That's who the next
Brennan
one's gonna be.
I think it's
Sorsby,
Hoosier.
Brennan Sorsby, like there's all these guys that they're like can be on the cusp.
Yep.
Right. And who's gonna, if you'll look back and go, man, did somebody just jump him? You
He's
had
gonna
a
get jumped by a bunch of guys.
you
next
had
year.
you had as much of a surefire opportunity to get generational wealth. You just got to make the second contract. That's all it is.
Let me flip it on its head though. Maybe Dante Moore stuck around because we don't see this very often, but maybe it's more of a loyalty to his school.
Maybe. And maybe there's the
Nasty
national
taste in his
championship.
mouth.
Yeah.
Got his ass kicked by Indiana.
Yeah.
Not saying that's the case, but
Also, $7 million a year sounds pretty great.
right. But yeah, if you're gonna get 9 in the
Exactly.
NFL, like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation with like
competition,
Emmett
though.
too, though. Like also with Emmett, like Nebraska doesn't value a traditional running back, in my opinion.
No, they
And
don't.
So,
Trash.
they fell into that.
So yeah, I don't think they value a traditional running back, and so they weren't going to provide Emmett with the resources financially that he could have gotten in the NFL, even as a 4th round draft pick.
Emmett is the smartest man alive to go
So,
to the NFL.
I
Yes.
love Emmett, man.
Okay.
Happy
Any more
for him.
supers?
We
Yeah,
are
sorry,
at the point of the show. Nick, you
Wait,
do we have any more supers? No, I don't think so. Nick, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, like
Yeah.
where they can find you.
Yeah.
What where do you MC for? Do all
Yeah.
those things,
So-
and we'll get out of here.
Well, I appreciate you guys for having me on. First and foremost, this has been a lot of fun. It went by very quick.
Yes, it does.
Hopefully, there was everything good there. But then, yeah, so you can find me 93.7 The Ticket out of Lincoln. I do the show every morning, 9 to 11 a.m. Everybody knows us for the early show. Stick around for 2 hours after that. You can hear me a little bit. So there's that. You can always find me on Twitter, Nick_Sehnert. I MC as well for the Omaha Storm Chasers. Stir it up. And had 5 days of excitement with Jack Caglione last year. And then just started MCing for a League One volleyball out here in Omaha. So, love Nebraska. So
Busy man.
shout out to Kyle.
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
just
I'm just messing.
real quick, the portal's closed. I just want a quick 1-letter grade. Real quick. Okay.
for our portal 5.
Can I say a context
Yep.
thing for the portal real quick?
Okay. Yeah.
So with the holiday tomorrow, I just read this report from On3 or while I was driving up here, is that we might not even have all the transfers in yet. Because with the holiday tomorrow, teams and organizations have 48 hours. So we might still have some sprinkling out on Tuesday.
Sprinkling
the portal,
out.
the portal is closed to entries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which in the college football calendar as well, with the whole thing of like teams, guys can enter and stuff. They got to get there by next Friday because school starts. So they got to be enrolled in classes.
Yeah.
So you look at who's coming in. What grade are you giving this transfer portal?
You want me to
class?
start?
If you have a grade ready.
I'll say a B minus.
That's mine.
That's where I was too.
B minus.
Yeah,
B
B
minus.
What
Kyle,
do you think, Kyle?
I'd say like a C plus.
C plus.
Yeah. We're all passing.
C minus.
C minus.
Oh.
All right, just real quick,
Okay.
NBNRpodcast.com, Spotify, YouTube, blah, blah, everything.
New merch store.
Google us. We're Signetti.
Yes.
Heavy brewing.
Heavy
Yeah.
Brewing.
All-
Love heavy
All
brewing.
the people that are buying merch and
Nope.
giving super chats, we appreciate all of you. If